Well, we've grana, we've ninny bong everybody. I am Engineer Hoist. It's good to see everybody here today, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, to talk about Transformers Earth Wars news, crack a few crystals. We got some new bots coming. You guys are throwing your guesses out there in the comments. Let's go ahead and say hi to everybody who's been here. Sharksy's here, Dirty Spot, Jonathan Carrillo, Demise Break. He's got some hints or guesses there. He's hoping he's got them right. Wreckin' Rule here. He is a well, someone called him a trooper because he is staying up late, but he says, no, I'm just a soldier. I understood that reference. Optimus Prime passed Ultra Magnus. It is to you, old friend. I passed the Matrix of Leadership. No, I'm just a soldier. So I don't know if it was intentional, but that's what I heard when I saw that. Anyway, so let's say hi to a few more people. Turd Bucket TV, CJ Watkins, Destroyer Fire Rage. Of course, John Beekman was here way early when I got it. Oktar, a.k.a. Starscream, is in here. And Big D, Jameis Vegas showing up. Pete Francis Jr., Jorge Ramirez, Sentius Magnus 54, the illustrious Sentius Magnus. Great to have you here. Subi Girl, Monkey Man, Gus Britt. Okay, guys, it's Skypoke is joining us here. Bo Ganora, welcome, fellow non-toxic gamer. But how about we get to the news, guys? Because not a whole lot of news, but we got some big stuff to talk about. Actually, hit the wrong button. Let's try that. There we go. Transformers Earth Wars news. Okay, so this weekend's event is called Connection Lost. Oh, Sound Crusher. Okay, we got you. I hope I remember that. Connection Lost is this weekend's event. And apparently the connection is lost on my, there we go, on my slide advance button. Okay, so this is an Alliance event, so gather your Alliance and take part in the event to win up to 3.4 million Energon and Alloy, up to 2,000 Premium Crystal Shards, 1,400 3-star shards, 600 4-star shards, and you can also win a Bronze, a Silver, and a Gold Power Core chip. Now, as far as I know, these are standard Power Core chips, not G1 Power Core chips. Whether the G1 cores are in there or not, I don't know. They didn't really say. They might be, they might not be. But they are just standard Power Core chips. Normal Power Cores are in the mix. This is an Alliance Totalizer, which means there's no prestiges. It's just one straight board. They call it a Totalizer. As standard start dates, start and end dates and times, and triple XP as always. How do you participate? Most of you guys have been here a while, you know, but for anybody new, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you got to be headquarters level 4. You got to be in Alliance. Then you tap the yellow event button, select the battle zone, win the battle, gather your battle points to contribute to the Alliance total, and then everybody wins prizes. That's what we're all here for, right? Don't forget, the best prize out of the weekend events is the triple XP to level up your bots. Okay, so the event battle zones are the standard battle zones to which we have become accustomed to. It's not the flat battle zones. And here is a summary of the prizes. There's a lot more tiers than what these are, but once you hit these values that I've got there, you will have won all of the prizes listed. So by 21,000, you will have collected all 2,000 premium shards. The Bronze Power Core chip is at 31,000, and so on and so forth, down to 296,000 for the Alliance to win the Gold Power Core chip. For any of the Alliances who want to go beyond that, you can win up to 5 Final Spark Crystals, up to 400,000 points. And what's in those Final Spark Crystals, you ask? Well, it's a ton of Spark. You can win any one of these levels from a Final Spark Crystal from a measly 5,000, which is actually pretty good, up to an astounding 100,000 Spark. Oh, and so here we go. We had a little bit of a teaser there on the thumbnail. A lot of you guys guessed right. It was pretty obvious that this guy was going to be Blades, the 4th Protectabot coming as we work our way towards Defensor. We were short a Protectabot to counter the Terrorcons for the Decepticons. So here is the 4th one. This is Blades, which still leaves the question, of Groove or Rook. We'll talk about that. So his description goes, despite his aerial proficiency and high altitude targeting dexterity, Blades is a street level kind of bot, preferring to look his foe in the optic and get down and dirty like the street fighter he is. He considers long range attacks unsporting and cowardly, and would rather detach his rotor blades and slash through the enemy ground forces. But most times, Blades concedes he was built for the skies, and his twin rocket launchers and dazzling photon bursts make him a highly effective aerial asset, something his fellow Protectobots appreciate. Now, this is very interesting, the fact that they're calling him a street fighter and likes to get down and dirty. So I'm wondering, is he going to be the first bot with a flight mode, like an air mode, that perhaps has a melee style fighting style? Because they don't talk about this. This is all we got about Blades. Nothing about his ability, nothing about his fighting style, but the way this reads, it almost sounds like he might be a melee. And it would be kind of interesting because they are trying some new stuff, because with the Cybertronian Jetfire and Starscream, they attack from a gunner distance. So it would be interesting to see how that works out. My guess is he'll probably still have a standard aerial bot distance attack, but it would be pretty cool to see him getting down and dirty, like it says, with a melee style. There, Sharksy's saying would like it to be a gunner. That would be pretty cool, but that kind of goes against the whole long-range attacks, because I don't think he'd be a gunner, because he would consider himself a coward based on this little description there. So, who knows? It'll be interesting. And so, opposite Blades for the Decepticons, it's Dirge. Yes, this is the second Conehead to come. We got Ramjet a little while back opposite Goldfire, and now we've got Dirge coming. Who knows who the third Conehead's going to be? I know a bunch of you guys out there. He's not coming yet, but he will. It's got to be if we got these other two. So Dirge's description goes as such. It's fair to say Dirge is a tank half-empty kind of con. His mournful, silent manner unnerves even his fellow Decepticons, and the sound of Dirge's engines has an uncanny effect on friend and foe alike. The chilling overture is merely the prelude to the petrifying fear they induce in whoever's in audio range. The unique combination of frequencies inducing acute, paralyzing fear and disorientation. However, if Dirge's concentration slips, he can fall prey to his own engine noise. But then, he always has his air-to-air missile launchers and machine gun ports to fall back on. So, if any of you guys don't know where his name comes from and why they're talking about it being kind of depressing or chilling or whatever, a Dirge is kind of a very dark, foreboding style of music. Yeah. Actually, probably the thing that comes to mind anytime I hear this is from a movie from a while ago. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called Down Periscope. It had Kelsey Grammer in it, and it's a comedy, and it's very funny. They were making a guy walk the plank. It was completely silly, and one guy's out there with the keyboard. He's like, "Play me a dirge, matey." So he's like, da 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 da. You know, so a very foreboding. It's like, hey, we're gonna make you walk the plank. So anyway, yeah, I love Down Periscope. I was in the Navy at the time on submarines, as a matter of fact. So I think I appreciate it a little bit more than the general audience. If anybody's been on a submarine, you get a lot of those jokes way more than anybody else. But yeah, so now the interesting thing here about Dirge, contrasting Blades, they're talking about how he's got machine gun ports and air-to-air missile launchers, which makes me think that he's going to be more of an air-style bot, and it would be unusual for the two bots to have different styles and different abilities. way back when, it's probably been a year and a half by now, they did actually release bots that were completely different, with different abilities, different attack styles, and that wasn't a very popular thing amongst the players because, you know, inevitably one of them would be better than the other, so either the Autobots had an advantage or the Decepticons had an advantage, and the other side really just says, you know, cried foul and said it wasn't fair. So once they got everybody evened up, from that point on, every bot that's getting released is going to have the same ability and the same attack style, if not being the exact same bot like Impactor or Nah. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys come out. Sharksy's saying they could be like an Ultra Magnus Galvatron type thing, where that's an interesting point, because those two guys, they have very different animations on their abilities, but generally they have the same effect though, because they both had to deal a large amount of damage to one target and do a little bit of damage to the area around it. It's just very different animations, but the same general effect on the from the ability. And I asked you guys who was the third Conehead. I saw a couple of you guys call it out. Thrust. Thrust is the other Conehead. Acid Storm is definitely a Seeker, but he's not a Conehead. There's only the three Coneheads: Ramjet, Dirge, and Thrust, who's not here yet, but he's got to be coming if we've got the other two. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we got a couple of updates to a couple of building defense power cores. The target protocol, which goes on the mortars, it has always prioritized gunners and medics with an increased attack range by 15%, and it used to reduce the damage to only 64% of it. Now it's going to reduce it to 74%. So it's a little bit of an increase in the damage remaining. It's still reduced, but it's not reduced by as much. Also, the self-repair core, which is a universal core, it can go on any defense. Instead of restoring 0.5% of your health per second, it restores 0.9% of your health. And both of those values highlighted there, the 74%, do go up a little bit as you level those. Alright. Do we have anything else? Nope, that's it for the news. They streamed last week. That means there's no stream this week. Next one will be next Thursday on May 16th at the usual time. Okay, so where are we? Okay, here we go. As always, whenever we have new bots come out, I've got toys to show you. We got blades here. This is the Combiner Wars blades, and I did actually. Oh, let me see. I did actually think ahead to bring it up. So there is the image of Blades and the toy of Blades on which he's based. You can see they're actually pretty close. Pretty close. To be to the point of being almost identical. About the only difference I can really see, maybe a few little details. He's doesn't have the red on the upper thigh here. Plus, also his Autobot symbol on the chest there is off to the side, whereas in the game it's on the center here. But the reason it's not on the center here is because that's his combiner peg, obviously. So yeah, so there is Blades, and you can see Defensor back there is missing an arm because the arm is right here, guys. And I've got his hand down here somewhere too. So yeah, there's his hand. Yeah, so they also brought up the blades a little bit, made it a little bit more pronounced over here than they are actually on the toy. Boy, I'm just all over the place with this, aren't I? So it's kind of hard to do, because a lot of times when you're shooting video yourself, it's actually reversed, so it's kind of like a mirror, and this, not on what I'm looking at. So that's why I say this. Oh no, it's you know. So it's a little tricky, but yeah, we make do, right? Okay, so yeah, so there is Blades. So now, that's kind of how I thought it was going to go. We were going to get Blades as the fourth Protectobot to even out the Protectobots, not the Protectopots. what are they, kitchen utensils now? Kitchenware, the protective pots. Yeah, anyway, so I had a feeling we were going to get blades opposite somebody who's not a Terracon, which is exactly what we got this time. And so that's what it turned out. So it still leaves us with one more Terracon and one more protective bot still to get. The Terracon is obviously going to be Blot. That's the only one that's left. There's no other Terracons there, and it's Blot. Now the difference is who's going to be the next Protectobot. Are they going to go with Groove, who is the traditional Protectobot, 5th Protectobot in Defensor, or are they going to go with Rook, who was in the Combiner Wars Protectobot team with Defensor, and that's who we've got up here, and actually showed him off a couple of times before, and it's very interesting. I was really thinking it was going to be Groove. I see Demise Break is saying Groove. Yeah, let's go Groove. I was thinking they'd probably lean that way because we got actually 2 Grooves in Combiner Wars. We got a chest minion Groove who's actually installed up there on Defensor, and a deluxe Groove who's actually standing down here right next to Defensor. I'm all prepared to show him off however they end up releasing him. But we talked about this the last few times we've seen Impactor. That alt mode for Impactor is exactly the same as what Roller is, which makes me think we might be seeing, or not Roller, Rook. Actually, there was a wandering Roller, which Grand Galvatron, who I don't think is in the chat stream today, will attest, but it's Rook. It's the same alt mode as Rook in Combiner Wars. So I won't be surprised at all if it's Rook. And even a while back, I can't even remember how far back, I do remember saying that I think it would be a good pairing of Rook and Blot, because Blot is kind of a slow, in the dirt, down depth Street Fighter, down and dirty kind of fighter, and his ability tends to be kind of the shooting out a bunch of foul-smelling, awful stench kind of stuff, kind of like, you know, yeah, I could totally see his ability being kind of like an acid spray or a fire spray or something nearby, and Rook being a SWAT vehicle. That style of an attack, whether it's like, you call it probably not an acid spray, or you call it a fire spray or a water spray or something like that, that kind of an attack actually makes sense for a SWAT vehicle as well. And also, I really think Rook and Blot would be a great pairing, but I would be just as happy as if we got Groove. And who's to say we may get Groove and Rook? Just like we got with Victorion has 6 bots, but Menasor only has 5. So they could do that. I don't think they'll do that again, though. But, you know, it remains to be seen. So these guys just got revealed today, which means it's probably going to be 3 weeks or so before we actually see them. And I remember a couple of you guys in the chat earlier saying, man, talking about what kind of event are we going to get from them. Considering that Impactor was just a chance event, these guys are probably going to be a leaderboard, like a standard leaderboard. So prepare yourself, get yourself on a good alliance who's ready to grind it out and score millions of points to have a chance for a 3-star or a 4-star. These guys are going to be leaderboard bots. That's not confirmed. That's just my feeling. So, Turnbucket TV saying I should review my Siege figures. You know, I really want to get back into reviewing figures, but I need to clear some space, to be honest with you. I've got 2 big projects going on that I want to do at my house. One of them is cleaning up some spaces and basically improving my studio. Right now I'm just kind of in a corner of a room, like a fourth of a bedroom is what I got here with the desk and all this stuff. But I don't really have a good review space. Because I mean, yeah, we could do like what we're doing here and show this kind of stuff off, and that's good for the stream and showing this kind of stuff. But it's not how I want to do like an actual review. I'm more of the kind of behind the camera kind of a reviewer or something like that, because I like to focus on the bots. Not that I won't do it this way, but still, I'm only on a webcam right now. It does okay for live streams, but for like an honest actual review, I want to upgrade, or I have better cameras for that purpose. And if I was going to do it live, I'd like to get a little bit of a better camera. So I'm definitely going to get back to it. I'm working on a plan. I'm going to get there. Yeah. That's enough about blades and the Protectobots, right? Let's talk about the Decepticon. Dirge! That was a little loud. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears there. So yeah. So the best I could do for Dirge is this little Iron Factory guy. I don't even remember what his name is. But this is the only Dirge figure that I own. So he's kind of a legend scale. So you can kind of see him compared to the deluxe class blades here. But still, if you haven't gotten any Iron Factory figures, they're third party, so they're a little more expensive. Bought this size, a kind of a Legion class figure, goes for about the price of a standard Voyager, about $30 or so. But they are way better than standard Legion class anyway. And they're just fantastic. They look great, they transform great, insanely posable. A lot of times better posability on these little guys than there are even on Voyager class bots. But anyway, so this is not Groove, it's Dirge. So now some of you guys might be saying, it's like, yeah, so this guy's got the standard where he's got the wings on his legs, but in the game, the wings are back up on the back. And yeah, that's true. We kind of covered that with Ramjet. They said they tried playing it around with it, with the wings and the legs. It didn't really work well, so they moved the wings back up to the back for Ramjet, and so they're doing the same thing with Dirge here. And I think it works fine. Actually, as it turns out, this figure here actually has a couple little wing nubbins on his backpack up here, so it kind of actually works even better with this Iron Factory version of him, because he's got partial wings up on his back to go along with the game. So there's kind of a look. So obviously they didn't base the game version off of this guy, although it wouldn't be the first time they based a bot in a game off of a third-party bot. Take a look at Predaking. It looks just like the what is it, Mastermind Creations. Identical. So that's because there was no modern Predaking by the time they did that. But yeah, and even their Warpath looks just like Make Toys Gundog. I'm sorry, War Dog. So, but anyway, but it doesn't matter. It's still all the same. And while they do try to base the characters on some form of toy, it's not a requirement. In fact, Volcanicus, they've said. They were actually developing Volcanicus long before Hasbro even did Volcanicus. In fact, I believe the story goes, they went to Hasbro to say, hey, we want to put this Dinobot combiner in the game, and probably didn't have a name for it at the time, and say, hey, here's what we've got, here's what we're thinking, we want to go put this Dinobot combiner in the game, and Hasbro says, hey, great minds think alike, we're actually developing a Dinobot combiner toy, and we're calling him Volcanicus. And so that's kind of how that whole thing worked out. So Sharksy's asking, wondering how much the Platinum Edition Coneheads are. If you're talking about like a G1 reissue, or maybe even like the old Classics version, usually those 3 packs of 3 usually go for about $100. I've got, in fact, anything Platinum Edition tends to go for about $100. So. Senchus Magnus is saying, open mercenary crystals. He's saying,
just do it!
Already. So, Turnbucket TV notices the Siege, Ironhide, Soundwave, and Starscream. Yep, they are indeed back there. Alright, so we got the call from Senchus Magnus and from Shia LaBeouf. Says, hey, let's go crack some crystals. We do have quite a few crystals actually to open. We've got 67 to open. Let's get to it. So we managed to finish 36 prestiges during last weekend's event. So there's 36 chances for Impactor. We also have a free crystal to get out of the way here. We've got a Mark III EMP Blast. Plus also, we got our VIP crystals. The yesterday, I think it was. So we got some VIP crystals. So we've got Guardian crystals here. These are the same ones that we get occasionally in events where they contain 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star shards. We'll go ahead and crack those open. I'm hoping to get a few 5-star shards to maybe, because I'm 4.5 4-star duplicates away from a new 5-star. I'm hoping to get some 5-star shards to maybe get that down to only 4. But so far it doesn't look like we're going. But we still got 8 crystals to go. There's 10. If I can get 100 of these, I'll be down to needing only 4 duplicates. It's not looking well. Not looking good. There's 10 4-star shards. 75 3 stars. There's 10 more 5-star shards. 50 4-star shards. And finally, we get 10 4-star shards. Okay, so we picked up a few 5-star shards. It really, I still need the same 5 duplicates. Excuse me, had a little bit of a belch there. It happens, right? So I got some premium crystals. Normally I'd get all Decepticons. Sometimes I split them evenly. I've got a few more Autobots because I realized, you know, Sandstorm is in these character crystals now, and I don't have a 4-star Sandstorm yet, so I've got a few more Autobots this time. But I still wanted to pull a few Decepticons. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. We got Hook. We got Mixmaster. Wrecking Rule is saying, we'll see a 4-star coming tonight. Hey, there's a 3-star Starscream. Oh my goodness. We're lighting up getting a 4-star Decepticon. And it is Bludgeon. The newest 4-star Decepticon on my account is Bludgeon. Very cool. Very cool. Nice to see that. Last Decepticon crystal is Starscream. VIP crystals coming through tonight. I'm telling you, I have the worst luck with VIP crystals. But tonight we got a good 4-star Bludgeon. Very cool, very cool. Let's go ahead and run through these Autobot crystals here too. I know you guys want to see Impactor. I'm keeping you in suspense. We're gonna get to him. Because if we get Impactor, I want that to be like the big, exciting thing. Because imagine if we're here trying to get Impactor, we do get the Impactor, then we end with that 4-star Bludgeon. You know, I mean, it would kind of defeat the purpose. Well, not really defeat the purpose, but we'd be leaving with the excitement of the 4-star Decepticon, not an Impactor. So it would lose its impact. Do I have a boo here? No, but I have that. Oh, my sound effects aren't working. It's probably going to fire off here at some random moment. Bludgeon means I have no chance at Impactor. I'm not sure if I had much of a chance at Impactor anyway. Out of all of these chance events, the only time I've ever gotten that 4-star is Tigerhawk. That's the only time I've ever gotten a 4-star. So, that's all good though. You're kidding. Yeah, well, you know, I mean... it could go either way. I mean, you could win. You could get 2 brand new 4-stars back to back. We did that a while. Yeah, terrible joke. It was a terrible joke. I was trying to look for a boo, or I have a Price is Right fail sound there. I was trying to give to myself, but my sound effects weren't working. Is it working now? Yeah, it doesn't look like it's working. Yeah, okay, well I guess that's all not working now, today. Okay, so I guess no sound effects today. So there's another fail, the sound effects fail. Or I don't know if you guys are hearing it, but I'm not hearing it in my headphones. Normally I do. Shoulder pads prime. Shockwave Gaming saying play World of Warships. Nah, I've seen that. Not really interested. If you like it, great for you, man. It's not really not my thing. Damon Swinky saying no 4-star impactor for me on any account, but did get 5-star Cheetor. Well, congrats to you, 5-star Cheetor. Oh, I do love 5-star Cheetor, except for the one that visited my base today from some other player who attacked it, because that 5-star Cheetor tore my base up, and I've got like a max base. And well, he had some help, but they only just kind of snuck around the side. He got up to the headquarters and then just completely demolished it. So yeah, Monkey Man's like wah 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 wah. There's the effects. Thank you, Monkey Man. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Big D saying at least I have material for the 2019 blooper reel. You know, that would actually probably be pretty fun to go back through. It would be very time consuming though, to go back through all this to find a blooper reel. I might do that. It was kind of fun to do that little blooper reel on that top 10 bots of 2018 there. That's a little different though, because that was kind of scripted, so I was trying to do things. So naturally, when you're trying to go by a script, you're going to have little flubs and things like that. Red Alert says he managed a 2 and a 3-star impactor, so very cool. He's got the 3-star to 30 already. Got some power leveling going there. Speaking of impactor, that's our first crystal. First chance at him when we just got 3-star shards. 4-star shards. Uh-oh, thought about it for a second, but I was excited. I should know better than to get excited when it pauses. There's some more 4-star shards. Hey, at least we're pulling some 4-star shards, so that's pretty cool. More 4-star shards. Okay, it's not that cool. Impactor would be cooler game. We're still getting those 4-star shards. And now we're down to premium shards. Yay. Although, you know, the premium shards paid off and got me that bludgeon. More premium shards. Okay, I'm not that excited about the premium shards. Come on. Okay, so we're 10 crystals in. Haven't even sniffed Impactor. I think everybody already got all the Impactors. There's no Impactors left. I think that's the problem. Yeah, the very first time they had an event like this was Hotspot. I remember distinctly because it took me like 25 crystals just to get a 2-star Hotspot. Still just shards. Still shards. Wow, this is crazy. Yes, last crystal, 4-star Impactor. Yeah, I would be fine with that. As long as he shows up. Okay, we're down to 20. Goodness! So if you guys had some bad luck, looking right here, it can happen to anybody. We're almost 20 crystals in, haven't even seen the first Impactor. Yeah, Otar Starscream, I think you're right. I think getting that bludgeon kind of ruined my chances. 20 crystals in, no Impactor of any star. Still looking for Impactor. Oh. Okay, maybe I need a hold Impactor. Maybe I need a hold Impactor. Maybe that'll improve my chances. Could you imagine if it lit up the 4-star right then? That would have been crazy. Okay, so that's actually getting worse because we're getting premium shards. Okay, maybe if I kiss him. All right, kiss him for good luck. Still nothing. So that didn't work either. Good gracious. I think they forgot to put Impactor in these crystals for me, guys. 30 crystals in. Nothing. 6 more to go. Wow, this would be the first time I get shut out with not even getting a 2-star, if that's how it goes. Wow. I think this... There he is! At least I got a 2-star. I was getting really worried there that we weren't even going to get the 2-star. Getting really worried. Okay, so there he is. There is Impactor. We got the 2-star. 3 more. Give him another little kiss. Didn't work out. Hey, got us a duplicate. So at least we're getting... They just finally found their stash of extra Impactors. So a couple more crystals left. One more kiss for good luck. Oh, nothing. Alright, so out of all of that, 2 duplicate 2-star Impactors. Okay, very... I was going to say cool, but, well, no, not really cool. But hey, at least we got him at some point. Of some flavor there. Okay, so Autobot crystals. We've got a few more crystals we can open. We got a premium crystal, another premium crystal, and 3-star crystals. I don't think there's any 3 stars I can get, so we're going to get those on the Decepticon side. Alright. So that was a lot of shards. That was enough. I was almost had enough for a 3-star crystal, so all of those shards did get me a another 3-star crystal. So 3 kisses at once. Oh, yeah, too late. Yeah, where were you? Where were you? Maybe, yeah, maybe 3 kisses or 4 kisses might have gotten me the 3 or the 4-star. Oh well. There'll be other opportunities. I'm sure he'll be back around for other events very similar to that, like Gnaw was. Or maybe they'll just release him into bundles and crystals like they did with the Sentius twins. Because they were originally going to do like that with them for Gnaw. So we got a couple of duplicate Decepticons. Let's see how we get with these last Autobot premium crystals. Get a duplicate Air Raid. And one last one. Optimus Prime. There we go. Alright, so crystal cracking is over. Oh, look, we've got a story. So imagine we wouldn't have had this story if we didn't get them. I'm not coming back. I'm done with the Autobots. The Wreckers, the whole 9 yards. Hey, no one's asking you to come back, Impactor. You were defactioned. It's smarts. We get that. Move on, right? Right. We're just a bunch of hard-bitten bots hanging out and sinking a few lubes at McAdams. Just like old times, eh, Sprinter? Remember when... Not to interrupt, Cup. Well, okay, to interrupt. Before we have to listen to yet another variation on a story you never told right in the first place. I'm not sure Impactor wants to be reminded of the good old, bad old days. Yeah, he might think we're deliberately trying to get him old misty optic and rehashing former glories. And that's no way our intention. Top up, Impactor? Sure, why not, Sandstorm? I'm gonna come right out and say it. I don't miss it at all. I'm my own bot now. Go where I please. Knock whatever cranial casings I care to knock. It's liberating. And lonely, probably. Anyone fancy a game of side arts? With Impactor? Are you kidding? Remember that time you missed the board entirely and skewered that High Counselor? He never really did get his seat back, that guy, did he? There you go again with the old stories. Lubricant off an engine block. Sure, but it felt good, didn't it? The 4 of us, side by side again, against impossible odds like old times. For the last time. Hey, this seat taken? Thanks. Don't mind if I do. So there you go. There's the story for Impactor. Of course, Bludgeon comes in there because... Oops, what am I doing? Nope, that's the wrong thing. What am I doing? What am I doing? My finger's going all over the place hitting wrong buttons. So you guys just got a sneak peek at my home screen there. There's nothing needing to be hidden there. But Cub sounds like he's had a few too many. Yeah, he certainly did. Whoo. Well, I should probably really try to nail down what some of those voices are. I kind of have a general idea, but not. I don't feel like they're very consistent much at all. But so there you go. So I haven't really been paying too much attention to the chat there. Monkey Man saying, "What's that on Impactor's hand?" That's a hook. That's or a harpoon rather. A harpoon. That's kind of the Impactor's thing that makes him unique. He actually has a harpoon as his hand, and in the story of the game, as Wrecker Rule points out, his hand was bitten off by a Sharktacon, so it got replaced by a harpoon. I'm not sure what the story was in the comics, but it's probably something similar. It was probably damaged in battle, so so he had a harpoon, kind of like in Transformers Prime, where Ultra Magnus had his hand smashed. That he had that kind of weird claw hook thing. That was always weird. I was like, oh man, just quit trying to make it look like a hand, Ratchet, and just give him a hook or something. That was the weirdest little thing. So, yeah. Destroyer Fire Rage says they got drunk. Well, like you said, they were at McAdam's old oil house, and if you're familiar with the Transformers comics, that was basically the bar that the Transformers used to hang out back on Cybertron. I want to say it's in Iacon, the capital city. Generally considered the base of the Autobots, whereas the Decepticons are considered from Kaon. See, Shockwave Gaming is here. Shout out to you, buddy. Let's see. Monkey Man said he killed Hook and then used him as a hand. Well, Hook's not an actual hook. He does have a hook because he's a crane. Yeah, the Monkey Man said the Dinobot's favorite bar to get drunk. Yeah. What's the score on the raids? We're at 225. That's about what we usually end up doing. Honestly, I haven't played the raid except for once or twice. I need to get in there and get a few runs in. So, Matt DeMeo saying, talk to your peeps about releasing this game for HP computers. They're mobile. They're mobile developers. Pretty sure iOS and Android are the only platforms that they're interested in doing. They may not even have the capabilities to release it for anything other than those two, because programming for each of these different things are completely different animals. You can use the same art assets, basically the look of the bots and stuff like that, but the actual underlying code and everything is going to be completely different. So I don't see them doing it. If they were going to, it probably would have been from the beginning. So they're not really my peeps. I mean, I've had the opportunity to meet them and talk to them, but don't really have any direct input myself. If I did, we'd have Hoist in the game by now. Who knows? Maybe they're working on it, because I mean, they did say it takes a good 6 to 8 months to develop a bot, from concept to the ability and the design and everything like that. So, and it was only just about a few, what was it, October? So yeah, it's about 6 or 7 months. I mean, the earliest it could possibly come out, unless they were already thinking about it, would be right about now. And they're working on bringing out the Protectobots and Terracons. I don't expect to see Hoist in the game, because chances are he'd probably be a medic, and they've already talked about how they're really kind of not keen on bringing in any more medics, because of the 3 already can cause real problems, because you could probably just drop 1 warrior with 3 medics behind him and probably take down an entire base without any trouble at all. So if they'd have to put in some kind of a code to say you could only have 2 medics or 1 medic or something like that. So yeah, I'd say at least November they've been working on them there, Sharksy. Lisa Candelaria is in the stream. Welcome. So to anybody who's new here, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. We're here every week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. to talk about Transformers Earth Wars and various other, toys and things like that. Generally delivering the news. It's from the newsletter, so if you want to, you can subscribe to the newsletter and get the news before I even have a chance to deliver it here. But you can always come here and chat about it with everybody else, have a good time, and maybe see somebody fail miserably trying to crack open some crystals or things like that. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Plus, also, I do want to get back to posting videos again, kind of like what I've got there. See, there's the reverse thing again. The tips and tricks video, which is actually doing pretty well. I'm glad that you all liked it. So it's tips and tricks for like new people to the game, so or people who just might not be thinking about some of those things. So I do have a few other things in mind. It's just a matter of taking some time to figure that out. Plus, like I said, I've got a couple of projects that I'm working on at my house, and before I can get to actually trying to set up a studio that's a little bit more conducive to being able to do recording videos in live streams a little bit easier than what I've got now. I've definitely been improving a little bit along the way to where we've got even now, and I did have a fair amount of time off back in January for a certain reason, which allowed me the time to play around and create this little frame here, which I kind of like, and I think you guys kind of liked it when it first came out. But since then, it's been kind of full speed ahead, and then some at work, which has not left a whole lot of time for other things. But I'm working towards there. I've got plans. I know I keep saying it, and trust me, it eats me alive every day that goes by that I'm not able to move forward with some of these plans. But yeah, so Eternal Rogue saying, you have your Skylinks there together? Oh man, I still haven't put them together. I've got them next to each other, but I still haven't even connected them into Skylinks. It's just the Sky and the Links. Next week we'll be doing that, and I actually do have another box full of figures coming next week too. But we're gonna do Skylinks. We'll show off Skylinks next week. If not during this, probably during the stream. If I can manage to do it some other time, then maybe we'll get on and take a look at that Skylinks. He's a little big. I can't see myself doing a review of him. Certainly not until I clear off a lot more space than I usually have. Even doing that Ismenios, that Deathsaurus back here, doing the review of that guy was challenging because of how huge he is. So. Let's see, Red Alert saying moved Amalgamus Prime Core to the 4-star Elita 1. Yeah, that would be a good one. She does cause quite a bit of damage. Still trying to figure out who to put Onyx on. It happens. I had a few Prime Cores. In fact, I want to say it was Vector Prime. I had gotten Vector Prime. Then I had already gone and gotten another Prime Core before I even put Vector on on a bot. So I feel your pain trying to figure out who to put these Prime Cores on, because they are a little pricey to remove if you put them on the wrong one. But it's just Energon. You can get them back by doing a few battles, or a few dozen, depending on how well the battles pay out. So give it a try. Give it a try on somebody, and you can always change it later. It's a little pricey, but it's doable. John Beekman says he's got 4-star Impactor in his collection. So far, he's awesome. Well, I am jealous because I just barely got the 2-star. So, what core on Impactor? Amalgamus, if you have them. Alchemist might actually work pretty well on Impactor as well, if you don't have Prime Cores available. A Rejuvenate, I think, would be very good on him. Rejuvenate. Or Vitality, if you don't have a Rejuvenate available. Onyx would probably work. Monkey Man says, I have a member called Chesinator who showed a replay where all his bots died, but he summoned Sharkticons and won. Yes, I've done that before. I think you have to have the Sharkticons out before all of your bots die, but yes, I've done that. If you find a base that has a headquarters that's unprotected, kind of like one that you would send Cup towards, but you don't have Cup, you could always just go. If I before they had Cup, and I think we had the Sharkticon boost before then, so I would do that. If I saw a base like that, I would drop down a bot that I wanted a power level, and then I would drop the Sharkticons back by the headquarters, and then that one bot would die, but the Sharkticons continued on and would take down the headquarters, and boom. So yes, that is totally a way to do it. Most players now, because of Cup and Dead End, have modified their bases to where there's at least a couple of defenses back there, like a shock tower or a cannon or stuff like that, where that's not going to work anymore. But there's still bases out there, usually from people who quit playing the game after, before the Cup and Dead End came in. So you're going to find some bases out there like that. Usually, if you find those bases, it's probably an abandoned account, somebody who doesn't play anymore. I've run across a few bases in lower levels where they're all kind of stacked to one side or another, and those are really old abandoned accounts, because if I recall, before global launch, those were probably beta accounts that were still in there that nobody plays anymore, because back in beta, I believe, because you know how you have the landing pad down here? It's kind of got that little V shape where you can drop your bots on anywhere. Basically, what you had was it was only on one side. You could only drop bots on this side, or you could only drop bots on that side. So if you put your base all the way, I kind of wish I could point on the screen, but if you put them all on the one side, so they wouldn't be, they'd have to fight through the whole base. But since they added the V shape, now you can basically drop the bots directly at the headquarters. So if you see bases like that, that's where that comes from, is because those are very old bases and they've changed it to how you drop your bots. So Transformers over there says he's got the 2- and 3-star Impactor. Very, very good. Congrats to you. Big D's asking, should I replace a gold Rejuvenate core on 4-star Razor Claw with a gold Wallbuster core? I wouldn't. If you find yourself running into walls a lot where you just can't get through walls, then that might be something to think about. But I think Rejuvenate's going to work for you every time. But sometimes I find bases where they put the wall just right out in front, and then there's no wall near any of the defenses. You just kind of got to get through the wall, and that's it. So, and very often I end up bringing sludge on those attacks, and so his ability is completely useless because the walls are so far away from everything else. There's no point using it. The best bases for using Sludge's ability is the honeycomb ones. There was one where it was beautiful. I don't know if I have a replay of it. I don't know how far back it was. I don't know, it might be this one. Let's go take a look at it. I do have Wallbuster on Sludge because it makes sense, because he does the damage with the defense. No, it wasn't this one. But we'll watch it anyway. So there we go. We go and drop these guys. The headquarters is back here. And see, this one, the sharks probably wouldn't help you because the missile launcher would take it down. And there goes Jazz. He's going to take out most of that stuff right there, so that's not a problem. And see, I didn't even fire off Sludge's ability, I don't think, because these walls were fairly low, so they weren't going to cause much damage, and they're easy to get through. I mean, look, Pyromagna just walked around. The only smart bot on this team was Pyromagna, who walked around the wall. Everybody else, who got to break through that wall, she's like, guys, let's just walk around it. So yeah, and there's Hound. He's good for cleanup duty. Took out the resources, but Hound's very good. I mean, if you get him high enough level, 2 hits from Hound ability could take down some pretty high level stuff. If not, he's good for, like, if you send Jazz's ability and doesn't quite take it out, follow up with Hound. Usually what I end up doing is like Sludge. His ability will go and he'll damage everything, doesn't quite take it out, but then I follow up with Hound and then that clears the rest of the thing. So there you go. And so we got Pyromagna. So not only was she smart enough to walk around the wall, she's the only one who went to the headquarters until Sludge got up there and joined her. Everybody else is down here, oh, let's take out these resource storages, but, you know, so... And see, and that's why Pyromagna is a leader. So... Well done. See, even Optimus Prime thought it was a good job. So, that was kind of unplanned there, but, yeah. So, you can't control everything. I know, I'm just playing around there. So, John Beekman got Studio Series Sideswipe last weekend and loves him, yes. Sideswipe is... Trying to think of all my Studio Series, or... Oh, Studio Series Sideswipe. I was thinking Siege Sideswipe. The Studio Series Sideswipe, you know, I got him. I haven't even opened him up yet. But if he's like the some of the other Sideswipes I got, like Revenge of the Fallen, I'm sure he'll probably be pretty good. But I was thinking Siege Sideswipe, but because Siege Sideswipe is amazing. Probably top 2 of the Siege figures so far, him and Optimus. Soundwave's cool, except the spaceship mode's kind of eh. Shockwave's awesome. I know a lot of people don't like, oh, Shockwave's bad because, Shockwave's bad because I don't want to have all the arms and everything on him. So don't put the arms on him. The instructions even show you how to build like a sled that he can stand on. So that's what I do. I call him Wave Goblin, kind of like the Hobgoblin or the Green Goblin from the Spider-Man comics. I call him Wave Goblin because he's on like the sled, just like the Green Goblin. So anyway, but yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of digressed there. But yeah, Studio Series Sideswipe. I haven't actually cracked him open out of the box yet, but I do have him over there in the other room. Like I said, a little bit in disarray here as far as my collection goes. I really need to do some cleaning up and organizing, and so. Ironhide and Prowl are literally gods and should be treated like royalty. Yeah, I don't know about Prowl. Yeah, he's the god of table flipping. Speaking of Prowl, there's Siege Prowl. I think we showed him off before. Looks terrible in pictures, but he's really nice in hand. If you get him, he's really nice figure to have and play with, but he just does not look good in pictures. So, Alpha Fighter, good to see you, my friend. Red Alert's still looking for the Studio Series 38 Optimus. I lost track of the numbers. I can't even remember what's the 38. Is that the Bumblebee Optimus? Or is that the one that combines with Jetfire? Luke Brown's asking feelings on Ultra Magnus Siege figure. Been debating on picking him up. Siege Ultra Magnus is pretty great. I've got him. He was up here for a while. He's off on some other shelf somewhere. Oh yeah, he's right over there. He's really, really cool. A lot of people kind of were saying he's small, but yeah, but he's pretty massive. He's heavy. For that, and I do really like the gimmick where he is a smaller version of a white version of Optimus. He's not exactly like Optimus. He's specifically made for Ultra Magnus, and then the trailer is armor that you put around him, just like the G1 figure. We never saw that in the cartoon. got hints of it in the comics, what with the whole Minimus Ambus thing and all that. And of course, they did do the Minimus Ambus thing with the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, but it's really good. I really do like that Siege Ultra Magnus. Red Alert saying, oh, it's the Bumblebee movie Optimus. That's actually one of the figures I have coming next week in that box from TF Source. But yes, I haven't seen him anywhere either. I almost gave up on getting things at retail. If I find it, I'm surprised, and if I find it and it hasn't shown up online yet, I'll buy it and then go cancel my pre-order. But I have actually ended up with a couple of extras because I bought them forgetting that I pre-ordered them, and then the pre-order came in, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll have 2 World War II Bumblebees. That was not a hypothetical. I have 2 World War II Bumblebees. One's still in the box. Same thing actually with Siege Optimus and Megatron. I was so excited when I saw them at the Target one day. In fact, I walked in that Target and they must have just got a shipment in because they had like all of the Wave 1 Siege figures. Optimus, Megatron, Soundwave, or rather Shockwave, Ultra Magnus, Sideswipe, Hound, Cog, Skytread, I guess it's called, Flywheels. So they had all of them. So I was just walking out, just kind of like, you know, holding them, got my chin balanced on the top so it doesn't fall over, and then like totally forgot that I had them pre-ordered. So the next day is, hey, your pre-order item's in stock. I'm like, and it's processed. It's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have a couple of 2 Siege Optimuses and Megatrons. So yeah, it happens. But yeah, I end up getting most of my stuff online anymore because the retail distribution is terrible. And that's not Hasbro's fault, that's the retail stores, because they're the ones who order it. Hasbro doesn't push out their products to stores. The stores have to ask for it. So, yep. John Beekman's saying, do a giveaway? Oh. I've had thoughts. I'm just not sure how to do it. I'm not promising anything, but it's, like I said, I've got lots of ideas, and I do have stuff that I think I could do it. We might, at some point, do something like that. Get it on Amazon. Yeah, I have gotten a few things on Amazon. I usually do have better luck with TF Source. That's my preferred online shopping place. I've gotten a few things from Big Bad Toy Store. They're cool. I've got nothing wrong with anything like that. TF Source, I think that's just the first one that I found, and I know the reason I prefer TF Source is because they have the stack feature where you can pre-order stuff. As it comes in, it will sit in your stack until you have enough things show up, so that where the value of the things that you've got ready to ship, if it exceeds $150, you get free shipping. Big Bad Toy Store has a similar feature where you can stack things, but they still charge you for shipping a little bit. So, yeah, and yeah, the prices are a little bit higher on TF Source, but they're not in my state, so they don't charge tax. And also, with no shipping costs, and no gas costs to drive out to the stores and stuff like that, it usually works out to be about the same. So, Starsky say, "You doing the show is enough." Oh, thanks, man. Well, no, to be perfectly honest and transparent or whatever, I was questioning whether to bring it up, and we're kind of over a little bit, but we'll go ahead and talk about it. I've been kind of looking into like YouTube channel memberships or even Patreon or something like that as a way of just get. Not that I'm trying to get money, but I mean, I do want to improve things, and improving things costs money, because I mean, it's. I have a lot of fun. I do enjoy doing this, and I don't mind spending my own money. But any little bit that you can get helps. And so I was trying to see trying to find ways so that it's not just, hey, give me money because I'm awesome, but also things I could do for you guys to help make it worth your money. You know, so I'm trying to think of things, and I'll probably put out a post, like a community post, or maybe do another video or something specifically on that. And giveaways was part of that thought process. So it's all in there, a lot of stuff rattling around. I don't know if you can hear it. But so yeah, I mean, most people on the replay party probably aren't even going to make it to this point, but I do appreciate all you guys who've been here from the beginning, or even if you just joined in and are here way later than we usually do. I do appreciate all you guys hanging around. So yeah, those are kind of things I'm thinking about, and if it's going to happen, it'll probably happen sometime in the next couple of weeks, because apparently there's a window closing as far as that. Let's see. Red Alert saying, a guy at the comic shop has a shockwave. It'll sell for $25. Ooh, like a siege shockwave? Let's jump on that. That's great. Saved enough for him and the Prime. Oh, the Bumblebee Prime. Cool. Yeah, I've heard that Prime, the Studio Series 38. I've heard that is actually a really good figure in pictures I've seen, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting it. So, okay. Starscream saying, one request I do have is to ask Cup to go to AA. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank Alpha Fighter says this stream is awesome. Thank you. Okay, and as awesome as it is, the awesomeness does have to come to an end at some point. I do appreciate everybody. Charles Elliott just joining here at the end as we're about ready to sign off. That's okay. The replay will be here for anybody who missed it. We talked about the news coming. It's a pretty standard event. You know, lots of resources, a bunch of shards, chance for some power cores, triple XP. Big news was Blades and Dirge will be the next bots. I read through their descriptions early on, so head back to the beginning and go and see what those are. That's all we've got about them. We don't know what the class they're going to be. We don't know the ability. We're not entirely sure how they're going to come out. Probably going to be a full-on leaderboard, and my guess is probably at 3 weeks or so. But with that, it's time to say have a good night, and do my usual sign off. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends, and we'll see you next time.